Welcome back to our channel US Coins World. Today, we're diving into the world of rare state $quarter coins. Some of these could be worth a small fortune. If you've got quarters lying around, you won't want to miss this. Let's find out if you're sitting on hidden treasure. So let's continue our today's video on Top 1. We're heading to the majestic landscapes of the American West to talk about a coin that might just be hiding in your pocket or old change jar, the United States Colorado State Quarter from the year 2006. At first glance, this quarter may seem ordinary, just one of the 50 designs from the US State Quarters program. But what if I told you that some versions of this coin have sold for life-changing amounts? Yes, this little piece of pocket change could be worth far more than 25 cents, and by the end of this video, you'll hear the unbelievable number. Now, before we talk about the big money, let's take a moment to appreciate what makes this coin so special. The 2006 Colorado State Quarter was released as part of the US Mint's legendary 50 State Quarter series, a program that ran from 1999 to 2008 and celebrated each US state with a unique coin design. The Colorado Quarter stands out beautifully. On its reverse side, it features a stunning depiction of the Rocky Mountains, sharp, majestic, and snow-covered, with evergreen trees in the foreground and the words, "Colorful Colorado," engraved beneath. This design captures the raw beauty and pride of the state and makes this quarter a favorite among collectors, nature lovers, and anyone with a soft spot for the great outdoors. But the value of this coin isn't just about scenic beauty. It's about rarity, and most importantly, errors. Now here's where things get exciting. While millions of these quarters were produced, a very small number of them contain minting errors that make them incredibly rare. These aren't the kind of mistakes you can see with a casual glance. You need a keen eye, and sometimes even a magnifying glass, to spot the differences that can turn an ordinary coin into a high-value collector's item. So, what kinds of errors should you be looking for on the 2006 Colorado State Quarter? Let's start with double die errors, where the coin's design, such as the lettering or details in the mountains, appears to be slightly doubled. These are caused by a misalignment during the minting process, and collectors go wild for them. Then there are off-center strikes, where the design doesn't sit properly within the border of the coin. If your Colorado quarter has a noticeable off-center image, that's a huge red flag, and in this case, red means rare and valuable. Another highly desirable feature is a clipped planchet, where part of the coin appears to be cut off due to a misfeed in the minting machine. These clipped or curved edge coins are incredibly rare and always catch a collector's eye, and here's a big one: missing clad layer errors. The Colorado quarter, like other modern quarters, is made with a copper core and a nickel-clad outer layer. But in some rare cases, a quarter may be struck with only the copper core showing, giving it a unique reddish or golden tone. These are easy to miss unless you know what to look for. And when authenticated, they can skyrocket in value. Collectors love these error coins because they're not just pieces of currency, they're one-of-a-kind mistakes that slipped through one of the most sophisticated minting systems in the world. That kind of rarity always drives up demand. So, how rare are these error coins? Really, only a tiny fraction of all 2006 Colorado State Quarters have these special features. Most were used in everyday transactions and have long since worn down or been lost. But if you happen to have one in uncirculated condition, with a flawless surface and no signs of wear, or better yet, one with a recognized mint error, then you may be holding something truly exceptional. Now, here's the moment you've been waiting for. Believe it or not, one of these rare Colorado quarters, with the right combination of mint errors and pristine condition, has been valued at an astounding $84,000. Yes, you heard that right, $84,000 for a single 2006 quarter. It's incredible to think that such a small coin could be worth so much. And that's exactly why coin collecting is such an exciting hobby. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. So, if you've got a few old coins lying around, take a closer look. That 2006 Colorado State Quarter might be more than just spare change. It could be a ticket to a serious payday. Top 2. We're talking about a quarter that might seem simple, but under the right circumstances, could be worth more than most people earn in a year. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 2001 Kentucky State Quarter, a coin that holds more history, heritage, and hidden value than you might imagine. So sit back, relax, and listen closely, because this is a story you don't want to miss. Let's begin with the design, because even the artwork on this coin tells a powerful story. Released in 2001 as part of the legendary 50 State Quarters program, the Kentucky Quarter was the 15th coin in the series. It celebrates the Bluegrass State, known for its rolling hills, elegant horses, and rich American traditions. On the back of this quarter, you'll find a stunning depiction of Federal Hill, the historic mansion that inspired the beloved ballad, "My Old Kentucky Home." In front of the home is a beautifully detailed racehorse standing behind a split-rail fence, representing the state's deep connection to horse breeding and racing. The word Kentucky stands proudly above, with 1792 marking the year it became a state. It's a coin that truly honors Kentucky's culture. But let's talk about why this particular quarter could be worth far more than 25 cents. Now, you may be thinking, millions of these were minted, right? Yes, that's true. In fact, over 370 million Kentucky quarters were produced by the Philadelphia and Denver mints. But here's the catch, not all of those coins were created equal. In a sea of ordinary, a few rare Kentucky quarters stand out like hidden diamonds. What makes these coins so special? It all comes down to minting errors and exceptional condition. Let's start with some of the rarest and most desirable errors found on the 2001 Kentucky quarter. First, keep your eyes peeled for double die errors. This is where parts of the design, such as the lettering or details in the mansion or horse, appear doubled. These doubling effects aren't easy to spot without a magnifier, but once identified, they instantly raise the value of the coin. Next up, off-center strikes. These are dramatic minting mistakes where the coin's image is not properly aligned. A coin that's 10 to 20% off-center still shows most of the design, but anything more, and you've got a seriously rare piece. These coins are visually striking and extremely popular among collectors. Another thing to look out for is the clipped planchet error. This happens when the coin blank is miscut before being stamped, leaving a curved or missing portion on the edge of the coin. It may look like damage, but it's actually a rare and valuable minting flaw. Also highly sought after are missing clad layer errors. These result in a coin that appears coppery or dull instead of the usual shiny silver finish, usually affecting just one side of the coin. It's a rare and beautiful mistake that can make your quarter a standout, and let's not forget die cracks, cuts, and struck-through errors, each one a sign that something went uniquely wrong during the minting process. For collectors, that uniqueness equals value. Now, here's the real kicker, condition matters. Even without an error, a 2001 Kentucky quarter in perfect, mint state condition is already more desirable. But when you combine a high-quality grade, let's say, MS-65 or higher, with a rare minting error, that's when the value goes through the roof. Collectors around the world are always searching for these special coins. Why? Because they're not just currency, they're history, art, and rarity, all in one. They're time capsules that slipped through the cracks of perfection and emerged as one-of-a-kind treasures. So if you've got a 2001 Kentucky quarter in your collection, or tucked away in a coin jar, it's time to take a much closer look. Inspect both sides carefully. Look for doubling, misalignment, color changes, or any signs of unusual minting. You could be holding a true numismatic gem and not even know it. Now for the part you've all been waiting for. How much can one of these rare Kentucky quarters be worth? Well, hold on to your seats, because a rare 2001 Kentucky state quarter, featuring the right mint error and preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition, has been valued at a jaw-dropping total of $83,000. Yes, you heard that right. $83,000 for a single 25-cent coin. It's stories like this that remind us why coin collecting is more than just a hobby. It's a hunt for history. A search for beauty. And sometimes, it's a path to incredible reward. So, the next time you get change from the grocery store, or you're sorting through that old coin box from years ago, keep your eyes open. Because that Kentucky quarter might just be the hidden treasure you've been dreaming of. Top 3. We're diving into a modern beauty, the 2019 United States of America State Quarter from the Lowell National Historical Park series. This is one of the coins released under the America the Beautiful Quarters program, and believe it or not, this seemingly recent coin could be hiding a value that might blow your mind. Stick with me to the end, because this particular quarter has shocked collectors with its surprising value, and we're talking about a number most people wouldn't even associate with loose change. Let's start with the story behind the coin. The Lowell quarter was issued in 2019 and honors the city of Lowell, Massachusetts, a place that played a huge role in America's Industrial Revolution. Lowell became a symbol of innovation, progress, and the hard-working spirit of America, particularly through its textile mills and labor force. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find a detailed design that speaks volumes. It shows a mill girl, hard at work at a power loom, with the Butte Cotton Mills clock tower visible in the background. This image is more than just a snapshot of history, it's a tribute to the workers, especially women, who helped shape the fabric of the American economy. This stunning, finely crafted design instantly made it one of the standout coins in the 2019 series, but here's where things get really interesting. Although millions of Lowell quarters were minted and released into circulation, a tiny number of them contain rare and fascinating minting errors that have made collectors jump at the chance to own one. These aren't just mistakes, they are opportunities. Opportunities that could turn a simple 25-cent piece into a coin worth thousands. Let's talk about the kinds of errors that make the Lowell quarter incredibly valuable. Point 1 of the most sought after is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck more than once slightly out of alignment, causing parts of the design, like the text or features of the mill girl, to appear doubled. These can be hard to spot without magnification, but they're absolute gold in the eyes of a collector. Another rare find is the off-center strike. Imagine a coin where the entire image is pushed to one side, leaving a blank crescent on the edge. That misalignment during minting turns a regular coin into a rare oddity, and oddities are exactly what collectors crave. We've also seen some Lowell quarters with struck-through errors, where a foreign object like a piece of thread or debris gets in the way during the minting process. The result? A strange mark or impression that makes your coin completely unique. And let's not forget clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is literally missing, as if someone took a bite out of it. These aren't damages caused by wear and tear, they're rare factory flaws that make your coin unlike any other. One of the most intriguing errors found on some Lowell quarters is a die crack, a small raised line that appears where the minting die has begun to fracture. These cracks often run across the field of the coin or through the lettering, creating an effect that's both fascinating and valuable. But even if your coin doesn't have an obvious error, condition matters too. A Lowell quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially one that's been graded MS67 or higher, is already in demand. Combine that with an error, and now you're dealing with a coin that turns heads at any auction. What's truly fascinating about the Lowell quarter is that it's so recent, from 2019, and yet some versions have already become legendary in the world of coin collecting. That's because minting errors are completely unpredictable. No matter the year, no matter the quantity produced, a handful will always come out different, and those are the ones we're all looking for. So now comes the big question: how much can this 2019 Lowell quarter actually be worth? Well, here's the jaw-dropping part. If you happen to own a Lowell quarter with a rare mint error, preserved in flawless, uncirculated condition, and professionally authenticated, its value could soar as high as $80,000. That's right, $80,000 for a single quarter you could have found in your pocket change just a few years ago. It's absolutely mind-blowing. And it just proves once again, every coin has a story, and some of them have incredible surprises waiting to be discovered. So take a moment. Go through your coin jar, check your collection, look closely at that 2019 Lowell quarter if you've got one. You might be holding something far more valuable than you ever imagined. Top 4. We're shining the spotlight on a quarter that may seem ordinary at first glance, but under the right conditions, could be worth far more than 25 cents. We're talking about the 2000 Maryland State Quarter, a beautiful piece of American coinage that's now become the focus of collectors and investors alike. So if you've got one of these lying around, you'll want to stick with me, because by the end of this video, you might be looking at that quarter with a whole new appreciation. Let's begin with the design. The Maryland quarter was released in 2000 as part of the U.S. Mint's iconic 50 State Quarters program, one of the most popular and widely collected coin series in American history. It was the 7th state quarter to be issued and honors Maryland, the Old Line State, known for its deep colonial roots, patriotic history, and strong ties to the birth of the nation. The reverse side of the coin features the stunning Maryland Statehouse Dome, the oldest state capitol still in legislative use and topped by the largest wooden dome in the country constructed without nails. Surrounding the dome are graceful white oak branches, representing the white oak tree, Maryland's official state tree and a symbol of strength and endurance. The overall design is elegant, symbolic, and deeply meaningful. But here's where it gets really exciting, because while millions of these quarters were minted, only a tiny handful of them have the rare qualities that could make them extremely valuable. So what exactly makes a 2000 Maryland quarter worth big money? The answer lies in minting errors and condition. You see, while the U.S. Mint is known for its precision, mistakes do occasionally slip through, and when they do, collectors take notice. Let's go through some of the rare errors that can turn this quarter from pocket change into a prized possession. One of the most valuable and sought-after errors is the double die. This happens when the coin is struck more than once with a slightly misaligned die, causing parts of the design, like the lettering, dome, or oak branches, to appear doubled. These errors can be subtle or dramatic, and either way, they catch the eyes of experienced collectors. Then there's the off-center strike, where the entire design of the coin is shifted to one side, leaving part of the surface blank. The more off-center the strike, without cutting off important details, the higher the value tends to climb. Some coins may also feature a clipped planchet, where a portion of the metal blank was accidentally cut short before the coin was struck. These clipped quarters are easy to spot and, when verified, can bring in impressive offers from collectors looking for something truly unique. And let's not forget the rare and visually striking missing clad layer error. This occurs when the outer layer of the coin is absent, giving it a coppery or darker appearance. A 2000 Maryland quarter with this error looks like it was struck from a different metal entirely, and that makes it a standout. Another error to watch for is known as a die break or cut. This is where a crack or chunk of the minting die causes a raised, blob-like area to form on the coin. It may look like damage to the untrained eye, but it's actually a rare flaw created during the minting process, and collectors love them. But even without an error, if your Maryland quarter is in uncirculated, mint state condition, we're talking MS66, MS67, or even higher, it already becomes more desirable. The cleaner, sharper, and more perfect the coin, the more collectors are willing to pay. So let's bring it all together: rare minting errors, high-grade condition, and strong historical appeal. Combine all of that, and you've got a coin that's not just collectible, it's potentially worth a fortune. Now, I know you've been waiting patiently for the big reveal. So here it is. If you happen to own a 2000 Maryland State quarter with a rare and verified minting error, especially in uncirculated or mint state condition, its value has been recorded as high as $78,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $78,000 for a single quarter that could have been sitting quietly in someone's pocket or forgotten change jar. It's stories like this that make the world of coin collecting so exciting. Because it's not just about metal and mint marks, it's about discovering hidden treasures, learning history through design, and sometimes, unlocking incredible value in the most unexpected places. So, before you spend that old quarter from 2000, take a good, close look. You never know, that small coin could be your ticket to something huge. Top 5. We're heading into the heart of Appalachia with a coin that celebrates one of America's most scenic states, and believe me, this is no ordinary quarter. We're talking about the 2005 West Virginia State Quarter, and what you're about to hear might just have you digging through your change jar by the time this video ends. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a quarter from 2005, right? But here's the thing, in the world of coins, not all quarters are created equal. And this particular one? In certain rare conditions, it has stunned collectors with its hidden value and minting surprises. So stick around, because you're going to want to know exactly what to look for. Let's start with the story behind the coin itself. The West Virginia quarter was released in 2005 as part of the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008. It was the 35th coin in the series and celebrates West Virginia's entry into the Union in 1863, right in the midst of the Civil War. The reverse side of the coin features one of the most breathtaking man-made marvels in the state, the New River Gorge Bridge. Completed in 1977, it was, for many years, the longest single-span arch bridge in the Western Hemisphere. The bridge elegantly arches over the rugged cliffs of the New River Gorge, and this coin captures that impressive view with sharp detail, flowing lines, and natural beauty. But while the design is stunning, it's the rare and unexpected flaws that can take this quarter from common to incredibly valuable. So what kinds of errors make this coin stand out? Let's begin with one of the most exciting, the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck more than once by the die, slightly misaligned, creating a shadow or doubling effect, often seen on the date, lettering, or design details like the bridge itself. These are relatively rare and highly sought after by collectors. Next, look for off-center strikes. These occur when the coin blank isn't perfectly aligned with the die. Part of the design ends up missing, shifted, or oddly placed, and the more dramatic the error, the more valuable the coin becomes. There's also something called a struck-through error. That's when something, like a thread or piece of debris, ends up between the die and the planchet during minting. The result? A weird texture or groove that becomes part of the coin. Each one is totally unique, which drives collectors wild. Another rare find is the missing clad layer error. These quarters appear copper-toned on one side instead of their usual silver finish. They're not worn, they simply never got their full clad layer during production. This manufacturing mistake instantly makes them rare and desirable. Let's not forget the dramatic clipped planchet error, where part of the coin looks like it's been bitten off. In reality, this error happens when the blank metal disc used to strike the coin was miscut or overlapped during the punch process. While it might look like damage, it's actually a legitimate mint error that can be worth serious money. And then there are die breaks, or what collectors call cuts. These raised, blister-like bumps or cracks happen when the die itself begins to fail during striking, creating raised marks or blobs on the coin's surface. Far from being flaws, these are like birthmarks that make each coin one of a kind. Now, rarity alone isn't enough, condition matters too. If your 2005 West Virginia quarter is in mint state condition, meaning it has no signs of wear and tear, sharp details, and that signature luster, you're already looking at a more desirable piece. Combine that pristine condition with one of these rare mint errors, and you've suddenly stepped into the world of high-value numismatics. Collectors all over the world chase after coins like this because they're not just bits of metal, they're history, mystery, and money all wrapped into one. And with the popularity of the 50 State Quarters program, finding one with an error from a state as iconic as West Virginia only adds to its appeal. So now, here's the moment you've been waiting for. How much can one of these rare, error-struck 2005 West Virginia quarters actually be worth? Well, if you happen to come across one of these beauties with a significant minting error, preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition, its value has been estimated as high as $75,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $75,000 for a single quarter that may have been passed over, spent, or dropped into a vending machine without a second thought. This is the magic of coin collecting, the thrill of discovery, the power of detail, and the possibility that something incredibly valuable could be hiding in plain sight. So before you spend that West Virginia quarter, take a closer look. You might be holding a tiny piece of treasure. If you enjoyed this video and love hearing about rare coins and hidden gems, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another exciting find. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious, stay sharp, and as always, happy collecting.